Hello and welcome to Manta Ray Finance. Today we're going to be talking about the AMC Squeeze with just simple math. We're going to be not even talking about any of the conspiracy stuff going on, the naked shorting, how much share short there possibly are. We're just going to simply talk about math and everything we know, and we're going to have the resources here to kind of put it all together to see what squeeze potential we have here. If you like the content, think about subscribing, and we're going to go ahead and jot stuff on the board as we go. So let's get started. So here we're just going to go ahead and dive into simple numbers, and this all was found on Reddit this time from Tony Kim was the person that had posted this, but all of these have sources to them as well. So we'll start with the first one here. So June 2nd, AMC announces that 80% of the float is held by retail. So that is absolutely huge. I don't know about other investors, but since it's gone down in price, my particular position has increased. So I almost wouldn't be surprised if that number has gone absolutely crazy, like way more than 80%. But that's crazy to think that retail holds 80% of the float, giving retail so much power in this case. Institutional ownership is 28%, and that was posted by Fintel on 13F filings. So institutional ownership is 28%. The reported, I wrote that in capitals there, reported short interest is 16% reported. But if all the naked share things and everything like that all is true, then that could be much crazy higher. But with all that being said, what percent of the float is out there right now? 124% of the float. So we're actually over 100% of the float. So when people start to cover, this is kind of the theory right now, is that you can say, I want whatever. You have to get the shares from retail. You have to buy them from retail. And you can say, nope, I want you to pay X amount of dollars, and that's how much you're going to pay for my shares, since there are none available. So this has such crazy squeeze potential because 24% more than exists in the float is out that we know of. And these are numbers that are posted freely that you can look at, and that is just absolutely insane. And just so everybody knows, this is all for entertainment purposes only. So other things that we know. So we know what is posted, that 124% of the float is out there, and that's what's posted and given to us, let alone the shorting of bonds, let alone failure to delivers. We know as of June, there was 1.8 million shares that was failure to deliver, and that can just keeps getting kicked down the road. AMC stock on Reddit is up to 400,000 members, so depending on how many shares each member holds, that could be a very significant portion of the float, and possibly people are adding on more to that. Dark pool trading was 61% over the last 20 days, and that was based on Market Chameleon was the source on that one. So we don't even know what exactly people are actually doing, buying or selling, or what the heck is going on. And then things are just strange also with the fact that, like, there's so much like people on boards talking negative and everything like that. And that also makes me just feel really weird about the situation. Like, why would you ever go on a board and crap on a stock unless you make money when it goes down? Like, that's the only reason I would do it, and I would never do it, but that's the only reason I would ever do it, is if I could make money off of it. So just very strange. And then Fidelity often shows the buys versus the sells, and it's like 7 out of 10 is like buys, and then like 3 out of 10 is sells based on Fidelity. So it just doesn't make, things just don't add up, and things look very strange. So we know we have all the float. So that puts us in kind of a weird position. We also are aware that there's 100 million shares reported as short that need to be covered at some point. So that just kind of makes me feel like I don't really care about the downside on this one, because they need to cover eventually. There's 100 million that need to be covered, and the whole entire float is taken. So even if they get it down to 30, 25, 20 bucks, 5 bucks, 2 bucks, you got to cover. You got to buy these shares, and you have to cover your position. So it just really puts me in a position that's very strange. Like with any other stock, if I was down 10%, I'd be like, oh my gosh. But with this one, it just seems very strange, where it's like they have to cover at some point, you know, and they haven't yet. And blatantly, you can look through filings and see, nope, they haven't covered yet. And we just haven't seen anything like that happen, which is absolutely crazy. I'm also curious what's going to happen with all this dark pool stuff. And if it does blast up one day, is FOMO going to kick in, fear of missing out, and a ton of people are going to hop in and accelerate that like crazy? I'm not sure. That's all speculation at this point, but it seems like this is just in a very weird spot. But mathematically, the float is 124% is gone, and I'm assuming that that number has only risen. I wouldn't be surprised if it's much more than 80% of retail, or much more than 80% of the float that retail owns. So that's kind of what I have for you, just very simple, like what's going on with the float and the fact that things are just weird with this one. So that's what I got for you. If you like the content, think about subscribing, and hopefully we make some money on this one. Thanks for watching, guys.